Hey Safe Friend, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maylene Call from Mrs. Call's Campers. If you're new here, I am a teacher in Northern California. I've taught first grade, I've taught kindergarten, and I'm job searching right now. Today I'm going to bring back Miss Call Creates. I posted a couple of videos when I first started my channel showing you guys how to design your classroom in PowerPoint, showing you guys how to work with text in PowerPoint, and today I'm going to be showing you how I make my weekly PowerPoint. I've posted these in my vlogs before. I've kind of shown you through them. I remember specifically from my first year teaching, vlog number 6 has it in there if you want to see what it looked like my first year teaching, but I've shown you throughout my vlogs if you've been here. I have been asked so many times to put it on TPT and I never did because I was like, well, it's really built for me and I don't think it would help anybody. I stayed up last night till 4 a.m. creating a PowerPoint kit. So I have included so many different elements for you. If you like the PowerPoint style that I have, you can get the kit on Teachers Pay Teachers and you could build your own PowerPoint. I'm gonna show you how to use the kit and I'm gonna show you how to create a weekly PowerPoint from scratch. So even if you've never done it before, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna break it down, make it super simple. That way you can start creating weekly PowerPoints. I'm gonna stop rambling and jump into the tutorial. Get nice and close. So again, this is a tutorial for how to do a weekly PowerPoint. I am going to be using my neutral PowerPoint kit that I posted to Teachers Pay Teachers. You can buy that if you would like it, but this is just a straight up tutorial. So in my kit, everything you see on screen is what you are going to get. The Read First tutorial, design elements, weekly PowerPoint, daily PowerPoint. I'm gonna walk you through really quickly my weekly PowerPoint and just kind of show you what that looks like. So here is what you will see in your folder if you download it. Just a disclaimer there that it is an example. I'm going to do slideshow and then just play it for you so you can kind of get an idea. If you see this warning box pop up that says enable media, it is because there are timers linked from YouTube in the PowerPoint. So I'm going to enable media so that my timers work. This is the PowerPoint slide that my students see when they come in the mornings. I have a morning message, I have their morning journal, and then I have them sign in on our whiteboard. So I type their names and they trace their names on our whiteboard. I have tons of different templates for you for the morning. If you do not have your students do this, I don't really think anybody else does. Then I link our morning song videos in here. Then we move into literacy. I have these quote bubbles on every one of my content dividers because I love Jen Jones quote bubbles and they work really well with the different times of our day. Then we move into phonics, and this is something that I do with a book, but I put this on the screen so that it still kind of marks that point in my day. Then we move into our read aloud. This changes week to week. I just insert a picture of our read aloud. I put our I can statements. Grammar review. This is just an example of what it might look like. Shared reading. I will insert a picture of the cover of the book. We'll do that. Mentor sentence, and then we move into centers. This is my center slide for Monday. You can see that Tuesday through Friday is kind of blocked out a little bit, and then under where you see fiddle leaf, willow, sycamore, sequoia, that is where I put my students' pictures so that they can see which group they're in quickly. And then for cleanup, I have this little slideshow, and then I have a timer which you can click or you can press the next button and it'll automatically start counting down. Next we have snack, writing. So again, that's kind of the general layout of our day, and each part of our day is structured. And what you're seeing here is the PowerPoint that I used last year with my kids. So you can see during Writer's Workshop I listed the steps. This is a tutorial so that you can make this work for you. That's why I never posted my PowerPoint slides before, because I was like, it's so specific to me, but I want you to be able to do this. Okay, so back to our weekly PowerPoint. I'm going to move down here at the bottom of the screen. There is this 4-quadrant button that says slide sorter. If you click that, you're going to see all of the slides. So you can see this is what a week's worth of PowerPoints looks like. And it's basically the same thing from the start of our day, morning message, to the end of our day, pack up, which is right here. And I just copied and pasted that 5 times and I changed what we needed on each day. So it sounds like a lot, but I promise you, once you get started on it, it's so much simpler than it sounds. That's my weekly PowerPoint example. If you download the kit, you can see the whole thing. And I put it in here specifically so you could use it for inspiration, but also so you could move things around. If you really like the way it was set up but you just wanted to change and tweak a few things, every single part of this is editable, it's movable, and the tutorial I'm about to show you, I'm sorry it's taking so long, is going to show you how to do that. So let's get started, finally. I'm going to walk you through the PowerPoint tutorial that I include for you, which is a PowerPoint document. First thing we're going to talk about is the fonts. So I use KG One More, which is the font you see right here that says fonts. I use KG Miss Kindy Chunky for that kind of like I call it better than Comic Sans handwriting. I like to use fonts that the students can easily read and that represent what the letters actually look like. I don't like to use any of those super cute fonts in the lower grades. If you're upper elementary, it probably doesn't matter. And then KG Life is Messy I use for, there's one slide for my math slide that has numbers, and I like the numbers in that font. So you're going to need to download the KG fonts. Her fonts are free on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I linked them for you in the Read First document in your download. First thing we're going to get into is layering. Layering is the very, very basics of PowerPoint creation. So even the slides you're looking at right now, I have the background, I have the white boxes, I have the title, which is actually layered, I have the text on top. So the first part of our tutorial is try resizing the box to the left to reveal a secret message. So I'm going to click on this box, and I know that it's selected when there are little squares around it, and I'm going to just resize it, and now you can see the hidden message. This is a fun element to add to your PowerPoint. Secret messages, reveal answers, pictures, and more in your lessons. So I actually like to use this when I'm doing my weekly PowerPoint. You can hide information, you can hide answers, you can move things out of the way to reveal something for your students. The next simple thing I want to show you about layering is how to reorder your objects. So in this part of the tutorial, it says click the box to the left, then right click it. So I'm going to click the box and then right click it and then send backward. And I revealed text because it was behind it. So another thing that I want to point out is when you are working with your layers, you can right click and then you can click reorder objects, and it's going to bring up this really fancy looking display, and you can actually move individual pieces. So if I move that box to the front, that's what happens. So play around with your layers. That's the first part in creating PowerPoint. So I'm going to undo it. Quick tip, if you're using a Mac, you can press Command Z and it will undo what you did. Here's a slide quickly explaining what I just showed you. Next, we're going to talk about our headings. This is the style that I use for headings and titles. I think it looks really nice. And you can see that this text right here is just this text and this text layered on top. So the next part of the tutorial is to click the outline and drag it on top of the text. I don't like it to sit perfectly like this. Let me zoom in so you can see. I like to offset it just a little bit to give it that fun look. So that's a super way to kind of jazz up your text boxes. Next part of the tutorial is about grouping. So this text box right here that I'm clicking on, you can see that it's grouped. There's an inner box and then there's an outer box. The inner box moves the individual elements and the outer box shows you that it's grouped. So you can see that I have the outer box selected. If I move it, it moves as one piece. If I go to move this one, there's just that one box. If I move it, there's separate pieces. It doesn't move together. And a lot of times when you're designing, you want pieces to move as one. So what you're going to do is highlight this text box only. And you can see that I actually moved outside of my slide in this area right here, because if I click on here and try to highlight, it just moves my background. You can lock your background in place. Something I like to do is take a quick screenshot. So if you press Command-Shift-4 on your Mac all at one time, Command-Shift-4, you can take a screenshot. So I'll do that really quickly and show you. Screenshot, and then you can drag that screenshot into your PowerPoint, and this is just one single image, so it kind of flattens everything out, which is a really helpful tip. Little bonus tip for you. To group something, what you want to do is highlight it. So I'm going to go outside of my slide just so I can actually get just those text boxes, and I can see that they're both highlighted here, or both selected. I'm going to right click and I'm going to click group and then group, and they are now one piece. You could always undo this by clicking group, ungroup if you want. I'm going to undo that just so the tutorial stays the same. Believe it or not, those are the basics to creating your own PowerPoint tutorial. If you can do all of those things, you can make your own weekly PowerPoints. For me in my classroom, I also organize my centers in my weekly PowerPoint. So here's a little screenshot of kind of how I did it last year. And here's a screenshot of how I am doing it this year. It is a little bit more fancy. You do not have to get this fancy with your PowerPoints. You don't. If you're not comfortable with it yet, maybe you're trying to make it in a rush, maybe you're still learning, you don't have to. But I have a couple of slides here kind of explaining how to do it. It's super simple. I'm going to show you really quickly. First thing we're going to do is click this image. So all I did for my centers was I took a picture of each center in my classroom. Visuals help if you teach kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. You want those visuals. That's why I put them in my PowerPoint like this, as opposed to just having text. You could just have writing center up there. If you want to add visuals, that's even better though. So insert an image into your PowerPoint. If you're not sure how to do that really quickly, you're going to go up to the top, insert, pictures, photo browser. It'll bring up all of your documents on your computer, or you could also airdrop it. You could drag it into the PowerPoint itself. But what we're going to do right now is go to Picture Format at the top of your ribbon. Picture Format, and there's this crop button here. To the right of the crop button, there's this little arrow. I'm going to click it, crop to shape, and then I'm going to click on the circle, and now I can crop my image. Now my image is cropped to a circle. From here, if you press that crop button, the main crop button, you can adjust it a little bit more. I'm going to leave it as is because I like it. Now I have one image cropped to a circle. I'm going to go to the Home tab, Home, Format Painter. This is your format brush. Double click it. And then I'm going to click on these other pictures, and now they are all circles. To get your format brush off, you can see that it's on right now because there's that little paintbrush. You can click off of the slide in this gray area, or you can click the brush again. I usually just click off of the slide. So now that I have all of these together, I can highlight them all, and this is just me dragging them in. So you could do this for your centers if you want this look that I have in my PowerPoint. You do not have to. I'm going to undo that. Here's another few slides just explaining how this works for me. You saw in my weekly PowerPoint I had this kind of shaded area Tuesday through Friday, and that's just so my kids can see that today is Monday. This is just a shape. So all I did was go to Insert, Shapes, and then I just clicked this shape right here. You click and drag to create the shape. You can make it whatever color you want. I'm just going to click over in the paint can, make it white, and then if you double click your shape, I know I'm moving quickly, I just don't want this tutorial to be 7 hours long. If you double click your shape and go to Fill, you can set the transparency. I just made it a little bit transparent to kind of block off the other days. That's all I did. So here's a few more examples. You can read through it when you get it. And then for the slideshow, one thing I like to do is make certain text boxes appear. So I'll show you right now. I'm just going to insert a basic shape. So I'm going to just make a basic shape, and then we'll make it pink. Okay. And we'll just put it right here. Right now, if I go to my slideshow and I hit play from current slide, this is what you see. We put a shape on there, and the shape is in there. If you want to make something pop up, it keeps taking me back to my other PowerPoint. If you want to make something pop up in your PowerPoints, so if you are working on having them fill in the blank for something, or if you want to ask another question, you're going to hit Animations, and then you're going to hit Appear. Appear is the simplest one. It's the basic one that I use. So now let's go back and watch our slideshow again. Here's our slideshow. If I click the screen, or if I use my arrow keys to move to the next slide, my shape appears. And now we're on to the next one. Again, I created this to be a PowerPoint kit, so I also included a bunch of timers for you in the design elements. And then the last step on here is just showing you after you've created your daily PowerPoint, so you've started all the way in the morning and you've gotten all the way down to pack up at the end of the day, this kind of tells you how to copy and paste your slides. So you have Monday's slides done already. You're going to copy and paste them. Then you have Tuesday's slides. Let me show you. I'm going to scroll on the left side. I'm going to scroll all the way up back to the top. You can see tutorial is slide number 1. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to click this last slide, 18. All my slides are highlighted. I'm going to copy and paste them directly into that slideshow bar. You can right-click copy paste, or you can hold down Command and hit C, and then Command V for copy and paste. I'm going to do that. So Command C, Command V, and I've just duplicated my entire day. So if I scroll back up a little bit, you can see this was the slide we finished on, and now we're back to the top. So this is a really easy way to make modifications for Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday. I personally prefer to have my entire week in one PowerPoint. There have been weeks that have been really similar where I've just had, for example, Monday's set of slides, and then each day I just changed a small something. So I would change the morning message on just that one set of slides. But for the most part, I like to post Monday set, Tuesday set, Wednesday set, Thursday set, Friday set in one PowerPoint, because it also works as a kind of time capsule for you. So you can look back on the year before and you could say, oh, what was I doing in, I almost said July. You can say, what was I doing in the 3rd week of February? Let me go back and look at my lesson. So I really like that aspect to it. That was the basic tutorial. I'm going to show you now how to create the PowerPoint using my PowerPoint kit. The third thing in your kit is design elements. You're going to click it, open it, And these are all of the different templates I've included for you to create your own PowerPoint. Once again, if you want to use the PowerPoint that I included, my weekly PowerPoint, you can totally do that. What I would recommend that you do is open the daily PowerPoint example. So this is just going to be from morning to afternoon, just one day, and it's Monday in the example. And I would recommend that you edit this by hitting File, Save As, and save it as whatever you want your PowerPoints to be called. In your Read First document in the download kit, I show you how I label my PowerPoints, but just for example, let's just say PowerPoint July 26, and I put the year 2021. So you can save yours however you want, but I would recommend hitting Save As so you can kind of save a copy of my daily PowerPoint. That way you don't have to download the TPT product again, and then you can manipulate it and edit it all you want. So I'm actually going to do that. Okay, so you can see at the top it says Weekly PowerPoint July 26 through 30, 2021. And again, you can see this yellow bar that's at the top right here. I don't know why I'm pointing to my screen when I have a cursor. If you want to use the timers I've included, click Enable Content. If you don't have access to YouTube at your school, you can figure out another way to put in a timer, but again, I've included all of those for you. So here's an overview of my daily PowerPoint just so you can kind of see it. So it's just one day, and this is the easiest way to kind of edit it if you really like the way mine is set up. So I'm going to go back to our normal view. And now let's start designing. I'm going to switch over to Design Elements. Here is that PowerPoint. I kind of explain how to use it. The first thing I give you are backgrounds. So these are the backgrounds that I've included for you in this neutral PowerPoint kit. If you want to change the background on any of your slides, like let's say you love this polka dot one, you want to click on the polka dots in this picture so that you see it is selected. Copy it. You can hit Command C. Go back to your PowerPoint. Let's say you like my morning slide, but you don't want this background. Paste it in, and then we're going to use that layering that we talked about, and we're going to right click and we're going to send it to the back, and then I'm going to click on the background that I already had and delete it. And now you have these fun polka dots. So that's a quick way to change your background. The next thing I have included for you are text boxes. So it also kind of builds a color scheme here for you. So the ones that have a dashed line around them are my default text boxes. So that's what you'll see throughout my PowerPoint. But I have a couple of different text options for you. And you'll see that I have the text box by itself, and then I have the outline. Because the text in my PowerPoint is layered, you have to edit both of them. So I have this option right here that is grouped for you. So you can just take this grouping, copy it, and you can paste it, paste it into your PowerPoint like that, or you can go through and you can edit these text boxes and do that yourself. I just wanted to make it as easy as possible for you. So I have that there for you. I've also included headings for you, kind of the same thing. These have the outline on them, these do not. And then I included a bunch of different timers. So there are 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 15, 20, 30, 40, and 1 hour timers. If you don't like any of these timers, you can insert your own timer. I'll show you very quickly how to do that. Let's go back to our slide. We're gonna hit Insert, we're going to Video all the way on the right side, and then we're going to hit Online Movie. You can paste in the URL of whatever timer on YouTube you want. It'll insert it right into your slide. Next, I've included templates for you. Again, this is a PowerPoint kit. I wanted you to have everything you needed for your weekly PowerPoint. So first thing we have our morning templates. Again, this is the template that I use in my classroom, but I realize a lot of you might not want that template. So I've included a couple of other ones. So let's say you do not like the template that I have on my daily PowerPoint. It doesn't work for you in your classroom. You can go to Design Elements, and if you want to insert an entire slide, you're going to go over to your slide bar that's on the left. You can see slide number 22 is highlighted. If it's highlighted, it's selected. You're going to hit Command C, or right click, copy that slide, go to your PowerPoint, and then right click, paste, or you can hit Command V, and you've just inserted an entire slide. So if you find one that you really like or that is really similar to one that you might use in your classroom, you can copy that slide, and then you can kind of adjust things as needed. You could duplicate things if you wanted to. Again, my computer's being slow because of the screen recording. Let's say you want 2 of these, just copy and paste it. So you can really make it your own using the elements that I provided for you in the kit. So I include a bunch of morning templates. I also include a bunch of content templates. Okay, so all of these down here are the content templates that you can edit. I'll explain this one really quickly. This is called my oh yeah, and this is just my way of evaluating my students. So you could, you know, put your own slide for whatever exit ticket you like to do. But what I do is I give each of my students a post-it note, and then I put a question on the board. So we'll just say 2 + 2 equals a number. And I'm going to actually insert a shape, just a basic shape here to show you kind of what that might look like. Another little bonus tutorial. I'm going to hit no fill on the paint bucket. I'm going to click the outline option right here, shape outline. You can see it. I'm going to make it black or whatever color you want. And now there's kind of like an empty box. Each of my students will have a post-it note. They'll write their answer. They'll stick it on the board under if they're not really sure, and under oh yeah if they feel confident. So I definitely do not care if you borrow my idea and use it in your classroom. I love it. That's why I included it in here for you. I think it's a lot of fun. So that's what that is. I included a couple of slides to give you an idea for a number of the day or a math talk kind of thing. This is that font that I mentioned at the beginning, KG Life is Messy, that I just like the way it looks for our numbers. So there's a couple of ideas in here for you to play around with, but again, make it your own. And then at the very bottom, I have schedule dividers. I just like this because it helps us transition into the next part of our day. So you can ask your students, what's next? And they'll say writing, and then you can hit next on your PowerPoint. Yes, writing. And what I plan on doing with my students this year is actually saying these quote bubbles every day. So what time is it? It's literacy. Reading is like bathing. You need to do it every day, and have them say it with me. And these quote bubbles are all from Jen Jones. Her TBT is Hello Literacy. I love her. I love her so much. So I found quote bubbles for each of the subjects. Everything New is Hard at First is what I picked for math, and then science, Live to Learn, and Learn to Love It. You can move these around if you want to. You could take them off. You don't have to have them in here. Also for social studies, there's a difference between not knowing and not knowing yet. I thought that was perfect. And then at the very end, we have center templates. I have a bunch of different templates for you. I included timers on some of them. So using all of those elements, you can delete, you can add, you can change, you can edit the text, you can do whatever you need to on the PowerPoint that I provided for you, or you could start from scratch. I know this tutorial is a long time coming. I hope it was helpful. If it was, give it a like, share it out to your friends on Instagram. You should also follow me on Instagram. We have a lot of fun over there. Also, shout out to those of you who asked me to put my PowerPoint on Teachers Pay Teachers. I wanted to create something that was more than just, these are the slides you get and that's it. I wanted to be able to teach you in a sense to create your own weekly PowerPoint. Please always remember to give credit where credit is due. If you like the way I do something, like my oh yeah, or the way I have my kids come in the morning, or a certain element of my PowerPoint, give credit where credit is due. I would love in the future to create a couple of different design options for you. Right now I just have this neutral set available, but if there's something you want to see, leave me a comment down below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. These videos are so much fun. If there's another tutorial that you want to see, let me know, and I will see you in the next one.